this is my documentary idea about AI in education because it's got a very personal meaning for me, and I feel like the use of AI at college has, gone up a lot in the last 2 years, and I feel like I want to talk about how it's affecting our education, how it can be positive, how it can be negative, that kind of thing. People I specifically want to talk to are students at Northampton College. I want to talk to tutors who use AI, tutors who are against AI, and I also want to see if, what uses AI can have for beneficial learning, because I've looked at some research papers already about the benefits that it can have. So stuff like Duolingo has started to use AI in terms of pinpointing individual weaknesses, and it's been used in math programs as well for primary school students. So there is practical ways that it can be used, but there is negative ways that it can be used, and I also want to talk about the environmental impacts and all this kind of stuff. Target audience: men and women, and I specifically want to focus people who are in education, because obviously they are the people who are currently dealing with AI, potentially teachers as well who will have to deal with it, because they obviously have to deal with a lot of plagiarism in their work life, that they have to kind of try and figure out who's been plagiarising and who's not been. But I think it's a very genderless issue. Everybody uses AI pretty much at this point. But that age group there, 13 to 24, is the highest rate of people using AI at the moment, and that's primarily due to education. Class, they like to be DRE due to them being in education or having low working experience, that kind of thing, because obviously they would have only been working for a few years. Psychographics is probably most likely going to be an explorer. Explorers are always looking for new things, and I think my main focus is how to change the way we view AI. So I think an explorer fits quite well for that. And then genres, documentaries as a genre, they have incredibly scaling target demographics. You can have Planet Earth that's for certain age groups, but also works quite well for children in some areas. Do you know what I mean? But they have such scaling age groups that I think as a genre, if I can tailor it down to the topical issue, then that helps me meet a target audience in the genre the genre demographics. I'm going to do loads of research because it has to be. This is not, obviously I know this doesn't have to be in here, but because AI is such a debated topic, I think it's important for me to touch on it, because you have to be accurate, because there is a lot of misinformation about AI. People cannot decide the amount of water that AI uses. They just cannot. People come up with a new figure every week.
Been on Google Scholar?
I have been, yeah.
Is there anything on there? Because that will be your most reliable source.
I know. I've been looking on there about stuff in education so far. I found a couple of good sources. Really, really interesting stuff there. And then I also want to talk about plagiarism. There's been a lot of issues with people being accused of plagiarism with AI when it's not true, and there's been some software that's come out to kind of counteract that, stuff with Google Docs, Adify, all these different programs that help you prove you're not using AI. And there's loads of errors in AI as well. When some AIs were trained on specific scientific documents, and because of a paragraph change between 2 columns of text, they now think one word is a scientific symbol, and it's not. So sometimes it's in scientific papers that people have written with AI within the last couple of years, and it's an immediate smack bang that that's AI. And stuff like AI writing starts becoming a part of a lot of digital language is being written by AI now, copywriting, stuff like video descriptions. It's all becoming a part of language in a way that we can't really control.
Just out of interest, you use AI for this slide?
No.
You've got an American spelling on it.
It's because I've got dyslexia, and I right-clicked it and I went, okay, click.
Okay.
You might be bored. I want it at the top left. There's stuff about not knowing whether or not things are AI, because sometimes it's hard to tell. I was having this conversation about Dan. He didn't know that the Lane posters that are around college are AI. They very clearly are. And the reader one is much more obvious, but the Lane one is quite toned down. You can't really tell, but you can tell from that yellow sheen over the top of it. And there's stuff like workload and emails. People using their emails to respond to, using AI to respond to their emails for them. And children in school are being I feel like there's a big dissonance between schools telling students not to use AI and the workforce telling you to use AI. So I think that's something I want to cover as well. My ethical considerations. There is a lot. There is a lot with this. There's a lot. There's a big thing on bias, because I know me personally, I don't love it. I will use it as my personal assistant and that's it. But I think it's really important to show both sides of it, because I think, to some sense, it is the future.
Yeah.
But there is environmental considerations, and I want to show both sides of that argument and try and keep it as least biased as I possibly can, because I want people to come to their own conclusions with it. Because AI is such a complicated tool and can be used in so many different ways that I think it's important to show each side of it.
Yeah.
And then owners as well. It's important that I don't specifically talk about any particular brands of AI or AI companies, as it could affect their stakeholders and shares and stuff like that, and then that's defamation if I'm talking negatively about them or positively. And then portrayal of minors, so any students that I'll talk to at college, I'll need to get consent forms from their guardians, rather than being like, you want to be in it because of it, and then that form will have to be like, this is going to be in a project about this is what their words will be used for, this is where it will be posted, that kind of thing. It might be edited, all that kind of stuff, because it's important to protect minors in the film industry. Shooting schedule. I'm starting next week, because why not? Because why not? Box pops, I can very easily do that. I get a DJI Ronin, I get a camera, I walk around college with some laughs. And I ask people what they think of AI, how they use it, in a way in which, I will let them know, please don't tell me if you're incriminating yourself on using AI in your text analysis or something like that, but I want to see what the students' opinions are of AI.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'll have to be very selective with which ones I use in my edit, because people are like, oh yeah, I love AI, I got it to write my whole project. Then that student is in trouble. So I have to be very careful. And then I'm going to try and talk to Stephen Ratcliffe Jones next week. Maybe John, if he's interested, with his little AI songs.
I might get involved.
Yeah?
Declan would probably be up for it as well.
Alright. But I think it'd be interesting to talk to, like, in a studio setting for something like that, because they're kind of the professionals on AI in education, because you guys work here.
Yeah.
You work here and you've seen students be like, no, this is totally my writing. It's not. And then I want to talk to people at the library who placed the AI posters, because I know the Reading Week one is definitely them,
Yeah.
and I know the Lane is the other one that's about.
There is a guy, I think it's Mike Smith, I might be wrong.
Yeah.
He's he works in the library, I think.
Yeah.
Based in the library. He has a lot to
Oh my
do
god, I
with-
met him before. He's got white hair, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got a lot to do with like AI usage as teachers.
Yeah.
So he
Could I talk to him maybe?
He could be really interesting.
See, I would like to talk to him, especially if he's the one behind, because I know he's behind the SharePoint as well.
Yeah. So he'd actually be a really good person.
Yeah, so I think it'd be interesting to talk to him, but I also want to ask him why he's decided to use AI to create these posters that are around college, and what he thinks about the use of AI. No, I know, but like what he thinks about the use of AI at college and stuff like that, because I do think it's so controversial and there's so many different opinions at college between the students, the educators, everybody has a different opinion on it. And then I also want to film a little opening in the studio where I do a little monologue, and I'm like, it's your computer. Now it can write you an essay. 20 years ago, and then it's like a small computer, it couldn't do nothing. Just something like that, do you know what I mean? Not something
like
comedic.
the evolution of technology.
But something about the evolution of technology, something about students' lives today, with a little bit of like stock footage, something like that, just to begin off with before I start talking to people and stuff like that. And then I might film a section on a test of AI as well, using like the DJI Ronin and the Sony FX3, just to be like, this is how easy it is, and it's crazy how easy it is that you can get it to write like a 14-year-old would, and you can make it similar to your writing style, and how it can restrict you and benefit you. Don't laugh at me. This is my serious pitch.
You know what, I'm well up for it. I really, really want to see this. I also
Didn't think you'd be that chuffed.
I actually also want to see a longer than 10-minute cut from you.
Really? Oh my!
Because
I was going to
think-
make it 5 minutes flat.
I think you'll get enough stuff out of it to make a good 15-20 minutes.
You think?
Don't submit anything over 10.
Well, no, of course not, because I'll get docked.
But I think you could be on something here, and this could be something that
All right.
might actually be worth investing a bit of time into, and you'll end up with something decent at the end.
Well, I've got 24 days.
You've got 24 days for a 10-minute cut.
Yeah, it's true. But I also kind of want to film a documentary about my dad's life.
But no, I think there's enough people here that you can talk to. My only concern, I don't know what links you have outside of the college. Could you get hold of anybody from outside of the college?
For example?
Would you still get on with any teachers you used to have at school?
I might be able to. Yeah, I think you forget my attendance was about 10% throughout all of
Yeah,
the
let's put that on video.
I got a perfect attendance thing last term. Anyway, maybe there might be one or two that I can contact.
If you can get hold of some sort of educator
yeah.
from another establishment, ideally secondary school, because I imagine it's
much more.
Much more of an issue there than it is here.
But there's not as much signage, I would feel, in secondary schools. Here there's a lot of signage because I feel like a lot of the departments are a lot more disconnected from each other. So it's never really a school decision to put up a poster. It's like the Lane's decision just to pop a poster.
Yeah, like that sort of stuff. Yeah. But I think just generally about AI in education.
Yeah.
I think it'd be quite interesting to get.
I could try and get in contact with my secondary school.
Worst case scenario, I can't remember how to say this. I have links to teachers in a secondary school.
Ooh.
Which I can potentially.
You talking to secondary school kids, John? Maybe stop recording.